I can feel the uncertainty, I can feel the what next going on inside here, the energy, but I can feel the assuredness that you know why you're here today. Am I right?
Yes.
Give thanks, because that's most important. First of all, I want to give honor and thanksgiving for my mother, my spiritual mother, who is just coming from Tanzania. She should have been making her way to Zimbabwe, and she detoured right forward in because she wanted to be here to see this, us giving birth to this event. So give thanks and a round of applause for our great Queen Mother, Mama Anna Puss. At 74 years old, we are privileged to have a mother in our midst who is traveling the continent, relearning about what is going on, but finding time to spend time with the youths like yourselves who wanna, this is what we're gonna look like when we're 74. So just make sure, I'm making sure you can manifest and see that this is, and you learn more about her when Pumzile presents her forward. As you can hear, and many of you will know, Afrikology is a logical study of Africa for Africans by Africans. Why we say Afrikology, not African studies, is because we believe that it's time for Africans to be logical. We don't want Africans to be curious. A study is a curiosity. When you go to university, you regurgitate what people are telling you is your history. We have decided that we're not curious about the continent, its people, because we are the living embodiment of something that we know we were here before time. And because we know that we are the replication of those who were here before us 5,000 years, we have to be logical about what we do now.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes.
So we're not studying Africa anymore. We're logically addressing not only the issues, we're logically addressing what we think about ourselves, we're logically addressing who we are and responding to the thing that people think that they know who we are.
Yes.
Afrikology without apology.
Yes.
And I need to say this up front, that this Afrikology study is a black study. My brother is here at the back, and he's my good brethren. He supports everything that happens in this continent. But I'm saying it is race first. And the reason I'm saying it because the masses of people in Africa are black, colored African people who have lost themselves, and everybody else is studying how to become African.
Yes.
Now, Afrikology is a deliberate approach to help you and all those who are going to come to study how to be African again. The fact that you woke up this morning, you were born in Africa, don't make you a knowledgeable African. The fact that you woke up in Africa this morning don't make you logical about African, because our existence has been non-African for so long, we still don't know what the Africanness means in us. Are you there with us? So the logical study of Africa is a science. When Molife Asante, and I want to quote where we're coming from, the teacher of Afrikology, Brother Danny Nabuderi, our elder who's made his transition, went and started the Pan-African University in Uganda. And those of us who were students under this great scholar, who was a student of Sheikh Anta Diop, the greatest mind ever, who told us that the African pharaohs and those people in the tombs are not Arab people, they are black people. He went, did the pigmentation, brought it to the Sorbonne, and was poisoned the next day. So what I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters, that this is going to take you very deep. This is not an African-American class. This is not a diaspora class. When I left the Caribbean, and when we left Ghana, when we left places, we did not decide to put our foot anywhere else but here. So we're not here to make you into good Americans. And we're not here to teach you no black history. We're here to teach you our history, which is your history and my history. Let me quote our elder who has made this transition. The elder, Danny Nabuderi, says, African scholars must pursue knowledge production that can renovate African culture, defend African people's dignity and civilizational achievements, and contribute afresh to a new global agenda that can push us out of the crisis of modernity as promoted by the European Enlightenment. And that is all we're doing here today. We're about to launch a space that should send some ripples through KwaZulu-Natal. We are about to own a space that's going to say, we are now preparing to give people to study. We are making sure that there are going to be people who can go out there. They don't have to need an Ashantiwa. They don't have to need a Mama Imakus. They don't need a Sister Pumzile, because we are training you. And please Twitter it. We are training you to take back your knowledge and produce it afresh with the old knowledge of the systems that we had before. Are you ready? Because that's what it is. If you're not ready, this thing is a do or die. Okay? You're going to be laughed at. You're going to be scorned at. People are going to say you are always angry. We are angry because we are hungry for knowledge. And this is going to be the only alternative institute. Right now, as I speak in Benin, they are launching the Afrikology camp. Right now, as I speak, in Ghana, we are beginning to do the coalition of the Afrikology. There's a storm going on because we're saying we're not doing African studies anymore. We're doing Afrikology. So there's no secret out there. The next thing I want to talk about is the prevailing miseducation. I want to readdress the miseducation in South Africa about who is an African. I want to bring back Ubuntu to the table, because we need to understand what is this Ubuntu that has been sold to us when it was ours. What is the Bantu that we talk about, the people with the soul, and we want Africans to get back to that place when they ask you who is an African, you first have to be Bantu, which means you first have to have the sound of God and manifest in Ntu. That's how deep we're going to go. That's the philosophy that we're dealing with. So that we can do some serious reorganizing of the mind. We want to declutter. For those of you who are going to be studying with us, we want to declutter your mind from all the general science that you've been learning. And we're not going to take our time. We're going to be bringing in other lecturers. We're going to be coming in, people who you've never known. My greatest wish is when Credo Mutwa sits here, you will humble yourself and know that we are serious about where we're taking it from. Because for so long, Afrikology lecturers like myself have been put out on the sideline, and we're happy about that. Because we're here to build institutions that will not be bought, that cannot be sold. The institute will be built in Inanda at the end of the year. You will have to travel to the people. We're not going to be here for long. This is a temporary space. We're just making sure that we have the soldiers, the frontline Afrikology soldiers, who will be there in Inanda to take the college, and it will be nothing that you've ever seen before. Are you ready? I want to know. In closing, when people ask you, what exactly are we dealing with Afrikology? Let me tell you what Afrikology is not. Afrikology is not a political group. We're bigger than that. We are the kingmakers. When we know you're serious, you have graduated through an Afrikology. Anybody else who has not come through an African leadership and called themselves a leader, we're a problem. Because it means that they have not studied Pan-Africanism. It means that they haven't studied Sheikh Anta Diop. It means that they haven't gone and studied Francis Cress Welsing, the whole ideology of why we have a black skin, or why we have a black soul, and why we defend the Africanness inside of us. And if we can't do that, whether you're black, white, I'm opening it up, because I want the Indian people here. I want white people here. I want everyone here, because until they humble themselves to our knowledge so we can reteach them, then we're not on the level playing field. So we're trying to level this out so that you are energized enough, you are knowledgeable enough, and we're not into fanaticism. We're not into religiosity. What you practice in your religious beliefs, you can keep it there, but right now I'm into the philosophical stuff. Yes. Because from philosophical, I want actions. I don't want anybody to say when they come to a student of Afrikology's home, there is not a space that has a shrine to the ancestors. You know, wherever you are, you should be setting up African spaces so that when you humble yourself to your ancestors, when you humble yourself to Okamba, when you sit on Mkanti, you know you have just humbled yourself in front of your great self. So everyone must graduate out of my classes. 12 months, I'm bringing in Malife Asante at the end of this year to come and sit and hear you. To be humble enough, the same way you go after those degrees, which is not degrees because they're only 90 degrees. I want you to have 360 degrees of fullness. And how you practice your religiosity is a part of that, but I want us first, because remember, we have been done by every religious groups.
Yes.
So when I say hold your religion, but don't ask Yasantua in the lectures to deal with religious stuff, that's not what we are doing right now. There's a lot of philosophical things that we need to clean up. Alright? When you have graduated from the 90 degrees in November, then we'll go, because we do need African spirituality to take back its place. And that's when the elders will come and do this. Are you there? In closing, my brother and my elder Malife Asante says that it is an Afrocentric study. Afrikology is an Afrocentric study. It is an African phenomenon because we are redefining studies now. He wrote this 10 years ago when we started Afrikology. People were messing it up. No, 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 we don't want. Malife Asante, the great scholar, says it is a phenomenon. And the only way it can take off is in Africa. Not in America, not in the Caribbean, not in Brazil, not in India, nowhere else, but it must start here. And we did it 10 years ago. We did it under the leadership of Kalushi Koka. We will do it again. And that's the challenge that's faced in front of all of you today. Are you up to the challenge of being logical about how you understand Africa? Because it's going to take you 12 months of commitment to get this done. In closing, Afrikology is a philosophical and it is a eccentric. And when I say eccentric, I mean it will take you to places that you prayed that you wouldn't have gone. Alright? And it means deep study. It means loving to read something. It means loving to quote. It means loving to act in what you have learned. I don't want people to just come read and regurgitate Marcus Garvey quotes, His Majesty Haile Selassie's quote. We've heard that. The Pan-African struggle is in a place where it's in such a tandem, it's not moving, because all we have is people regurgitating speeches. We don't have no actions. We don't have no one showing us how do you live to be an African. And the last thing the study group is going to do is bring back African Fridays. Every mother, every child, every woman in KwaZulu-Natal on a Friday will wear something African, will eat something African, will buy from an African person. Because if we're not claiming back this African Friday, you're giving everybody else 5 days. Alright, there are some of us who 7 days is not enough. But for that Friday, I'm saying, every one of you, as of today, we are bringing back Afrikology Friday, African Friday. When you come to the Bat Center, anything you can find to show that you're bringing back. What is the movement? African Fridays. We started it before. I don't know what happened in KZN. But I'm saying we need to make sure that our people can grasp it. This energy is now very visual. So I'm not into just you studying books. People must visualize what the Afrikology student looks like. The great teachers of the pyramids, when they walked amongst the pyramids, you know how they walked? They walked with their ankh. And they greeted in Hotep. When you saw them, you knew that they were learning something. You open any book and see the great sages. If they were becoming scientists, they look like that. If they were becoming teachers, you saw that these were teachers. So what I'm saying to you is that I don't just want the mental, I don't just want the spiritual, but I want people to see a new kind of a student. The Afrikology student. The students who are logical about who they are, where they have been, but where the solutions that we're going to be giving to this earth. I give thanks.
If you are not inspired, then I don't know what it will take for you to get to that level. The only thing I will add to what a gentle reminder from our African brother, author and professor, George Sepade, when he speaks about, in his article, when he talks about reclaiming our Africanness, he says, reclaiming and affirming African past intellectual traditions, knowledge, and the contributions in world history is a necessary exercise in our own decolonization. African people have something to offer the world. I'm going to repeat this. African people have something to offer the world. Besides our humanism, the Ubuntu that we talk about as well, we have a gift of knowledge that helps inform an understanding of humanity, not just African humanity, but humanity. Reflecting on the African past, present, and future as a continuum offers important lessons for Africans to design their own futures.
Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops weakened by my soulful cries? Does my hauntiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past is rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wonderfully clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. They think you're speaking of a woman. We are speaking of our mother, Mother Africa. There are truly diamonds. There is oil. We have been raped and robbed and terrorized. We've been whitenized. We've straightened our hair. We've bleached our skin. We've become ashamed of who we are as African people. White is right. But if you're black, get back. My name is Imacus Njinga Okofu Ababio. And I won't tell you how I really came about the name because it takes a little while. When I woke up and realized that I am an African, first and foremost. I am not colored. I am not an American. I was born in America. I am an African, first, foremost, and always. I happen to have been born in America as a part of a horrific part of our history. Some folks will say, well, no, you're an American. Americans will tell you that I'm an American. I'm an amendment to the Constitution of the United Snakes.
Yeah.
When the Constitution was written, it did not include me. It included white folks, white men. But I was 3/5 of a man. I was the white man's prize, so I was not a citizen. And then some fool by the name of Abraham Lincoln decided that well, if I free these animals from slavery, I can save the Union. But if I keep them as slaves, I can save the Union. So whether it was his conscience or what, he decided to free us. With the stroke of a pen, they amended the Constitution and said, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Oh, was I so damn happy. So I'm an amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah.
I'm an African. And I'm proud to be an African. When I woke up and realized that I was an African, I thought about changing my name, but I like my name. You know, say, oh, my Babylon name, okay? And my name, you know, when I used to call, make appointments for jobs, and I told them who I was, and I showed up for the interview, they would go, what? She's black. Because my name was Vienna Michael Swinson. So, and I would call up and say, I am Miss Swinson, and I'm applying for a job. And they, oh yes, Vienna Swinson, applying for this job? Sure. So when I get there and introduce myself, the receptionist would look like, I said, right, I'm Vienna Swinson. And one day when I went on this interview, when the lady went in, and I'll call her a lady, white folks are ladies. Okay. African women, African queens. Okay, we are the mothers of civilizations. Ladies, you know, ladies, don't call me no lady. You want to piss me off, call me lady, okay? So this lady goes in, and when she closes the door closes but opens up again. And I hear her say to the boss man, she's black. She said, black? With a name like that? Black? And then I walked in, I said, yes, black. I got the job. I guess he thought I was going to sue him. Okay, for discrimination or something, I don't know. But at some point, many years later, as I began to become more aware of who I was as an African, you know, at that time in America, as some of us were waking up from our slumber, people were changing their names. Ungawa, Shaka, Chikesha, all kind of stuff. I mean, they didn't even make sense. I was like, Shaquanda, don't forget Shanae. All these African names. I was like, well, what do they mean? They didn't mean anything. It was just it sounds African. I don't just want to sound African. I'm looking African. I'm feeling African. When you refer to me, my name should have a meaning. So, years later, when I decided that in reclaiming my Africanness, it was necessary for me to leave America, KKK, KKK, Ku Klux Klan. It was necessary for me to leave. And in my leaving, it meant sacrifice. It meant sacrificing my family, who did not, everybody thought I was crazy. Oh, she's lost her mind. Good Lord, she's going to Africa. Why? My mother said, you're not an African. I said, but I am an African. She said, you're not an African. You are a Negro. Born in America. Don't get me wrong, my mother was really cool. But she didn't understand. My children, I had 6 children. Last count, I had 23 grandchildren. And as of 2 weeks ago, I have 8 great-grandchildren. And every last one of them at that time, and I've been in Africa now for the past 25 years, thought I had totally fallen out of my treehouse. That's how my daughter described me to the rest of the family when she came to visit us in Africa. And I was living with my husband, my brother, and his wife in an unfinished house that had no windows, no doors, no ceiling, no floors, no electricity, no flushing toilets, and I cooked outside in the yard. So they went back, she went back home and said, yes, they had fallen out of their treehouse. Imagine. Well, I normally wouldn't live in a place like that, except it was my house that someone was building for me. And you know how we can be as Africans. Take my money. And me, I'm so happy to be in Africa, I gave it to him. I told my husband, I said, why are you giving him all the money for the house and the house ain't finished? Oh, sister, that's our brother. I was like, I don't think you want to give him all the money. Because if we were living in America, you wouldn't give him all the money until he got finished. It's our brother. We're in Africa. And as he gave the brother the last $6,000 of our cash, I saw the money fly like this. It got like wings. You saw it flew away. It didn't come back. And neither did the guy we gave money to. So what he had there for us is what I described. So we put screens on the windows, some doors to keep the people from walking in and out of the house. The screens were to keep out the mosquitoes. Hung some hammocks and moved into our house. By then I was about changing my name, okay? And just back it up a little bit, as I was leaving America, I used to go to a Rasta restaurant and eat item food and reason with the brethren. So one day I came in and I said, well, brethren, I'm gone. I'm leaving. So they thought I was kidding. You know, when you tell people that you move to Africa, they think, one, you're crazy, two, they're telling a joke. And I said, no, brethren, I'm leaving. I'm going to Africa. I'm going to Ghana. I said, sister, Ghana? I said, yes. Africa? I said, yes. All this time they're sitting and reason with the brethren and drink and eat and have a good time. You're not hearing me. You know what I said? I said, they're gone. Father was like, hey, sister, I don't know the eyes name. Because he always called me sister. And I said, oh, my name is Ima Hus. Ima means mother in Hebrew. At that time, I was trying to be Hebrew. That was like maybe 7 religions that I'd already tried. This was religion number 7. So, Ima means mother. Kush is the land of the burnt-faced people. At one time, my friends used to call me Sister Blackie. And I met a smart young woman who said to me, she don't like calling me Blackie because I'm a queen. So she don't call me Kush. I said, fine. I didn't want to change my name. So that day, when I was leaving, and the brethren said, no, sister, the name is Imakus. I, one with the Almighty God. I, Mother Africa. I, Mother Africa, Queen of the earth, is I. And when he said it for the first time, I was ready to change my name. So I spell it with all capital letters. And being as intelligent as we most are, everybody changes it. They make it all small letters. And I erase it and make it big letters. And I put 2 dots over the U, and they say, what is that? So, you know, people want to be philosophical, academic, and all the rest of that. So they're waiting for me to say something really, you know, deep. I said it means I. Capital I, one with the Almighty God. M, capital M for mother. A, capital A for Africa. H, capital H It's the 8th letter of the alphabet, and it means to build or destroy. And that's what I was getting ready to do. I was either going to build more in Africa or I was going to be destroyed. Push the land of the burnt-faced people with 2 little dots over the U. Deep. Two dots over the U. What is that? Someone said from Germany. It's umlaut. I said, it is. In German, it's umlaut. But what is it? And then they can't find it on the computer. So they have to take a pen and write it in. I said, no, the 2 little dots over the U, one you can find them on the computer. But look at the letter U. U is a smiling face. Dot, dot, 2 eyes. Smiling. I was like, the hell out of America. So that's what Imakus means. In Jinga, I took that name out of respect for Queen Njinga of Angola, one of our great warrior priests, great warrior, queen and king of 2 countries in Africa. Okofu means the mighty warrior, which is a name that was given to my husband, my kingman, when they made him a chief in Africa. But don't get all worked up. Okay? Everybody wants to make you a chief, especially coming out of America because y'all think we're rich. You figure we're coming from the land of golden opportunity, where the streets are lined with gold. And the line is long, we leave the prison. They don't tell you about that. Yeah. So, but they made him a chief. He was an honorary chief. Because we are not born on the soil of Africa, we're not allowed to be chief. We're honorary chiefs. We're made chiefs of development. Now, anybody with a common sense knows exactly what that means. I am making you a chief because I expect you to come here and help me to develop. Correct? Right. Okay. So the name is Okofu, the mighty warrior. And Ababio means he or she who was away in Fanti. He or she who was away and has returned. And I have returned. I, Mother Africa, am Queen of the Earth. I am a warrior. And I have returned to the land of my ancestors. So, having said all of that, you know, we tend to get, how much time will I have? They're going to give me a lot of time. I'm going to run up and I'm going to say 10 minutes. Yes. Anyway, so I'm really happy to be here. Okay, this is my first time in South Africa. This is my spiritual daughter. When she told me that she was getting married, I am also very spontaneous. I said, fine, I'll be there. And that was like the end of November, and the 1st of December, I got on a plane and I came to South Africa. Never wanted to come here. Fought your battles on that side, okay? Demonstrated against apartheid and all the rest of that stuff. But I didn't feel a drawing to South Africa. I felt saddened by South Africa. But I learned. I love South Africa. Right now, I'm making plans to spend 6 months in South Africa and 6 months in Ghana, working with my daughter. So I can be swayed, yes. So now the people in Ghana think I've lost my mind. But now you want to South Africa. I know what they're going to say. I haven't told them yet. I just said, I'm delaying my return. Okay, so 6 months here and 6 months there. But the thing is that what's really so very important about this, the Institute of Afrikology as my daughter has said, it's really not about studying. It's about identifying, knowing who it is that we are and what our purpose in life is. Okay. Not riding in the back of no damn bus no more. I'm not getting off the sidewalk for anybody. I love it when I go to places around here where there's no black people in there except those that are working. And all the white folks are sitting there having a good time, so I go and sit down with them. Yes. I'll take coffee. While they look at me. What's she doing here? We went to some place today. Huh, so rich. I said, I just know we just pissed a few people off when we went in there, but that's okay. That's what we have to do. You know, I rile them up. You have to be riled. We that have to be riled. We have to know who it is that we are and what it is that we are supposed to be doing. And still I rise. Those diamonds, that oil, that gold, those resources that can feed the entire world does not belong to us. Doesn't that piss you off? Doesn't it make you stop to think that something is not correct? So that it is time to take it back. I don't want nobody giving me no daggone book. I can't eat that. I live in Ghana. Ghana just gave a 99-year lease on the oil that they discovered to some white folks. And Ghana is only going to receive 3% of the oil revenue. And for several years, the machine was broken that monitors the amount of oil that they've been stealing. Nobody said anything. They just kept pumping oil, pumping oil, pumping oil. They just fixed the machine. They've been pumping oil for years. We should not be poor. We're not poor. When people talk about poor, we're not poor. Here is where we're poor. Okay. It's time to reclaim our riches. It's also important for us to know who we are. So that in Ghana, with my museum, the museum is there not because I came to Africa because I'm so smart. The information about us, because we're one. They call me Mama One Africa. We are one Africa. We are one African people coming from different parts of the globe. And make no apology for that. I make no apologies at all. That we are African. We are one African people. Some lady told me the other day, well, not in this lifetime will you see a one Africa. Yes, we will. We are. We started already. And we can't let anybody take us off the path. My biggest regret is that, and I'm traveling around to different countries, all these different languages. I mean, I'm speaking Fanti, Ebe, and Kiswahili, and Hausa, you name it. It just all goes together. What I'm trying to do is to be able to speak one language fluently. So that somebody in some country I go to will be able to hear me. And as the brother said there about English, you're right. English is a bastardized language. It really is. A lot of it doesn't make sense. I mean, my daughter said to me one day, we were going out, and I said, did you get your dolls? She said, oh, no, Mommy. I left it. And I said, oh, no, you didn't left it. You forgot it. She said, no, Mommy, I don't got it. I left it. I left it. And when you thought about it, it made sense. Because she don't got it. To got it means I got it in my hand. She said, I don't got it. I left it. It's there. So as they say, out of the mouths of babes and sucklings. But I wanted to share something with you before I take my seat. I represent over 10,000 diasporan Africans who have repatriated to Ghana, West Africa. And we have formed an organization called the Universal Pan-African Diasporan Coalition of Ghana. And we are going to be launching the Universal Pan-African Diasporan Coalition of South Africa, of Tanzania, Zimbabwe, of Benin, because a lot of our issues as repatriates, through no fault of ours, are the same. In Ghana, I don't have citizenship. I've been there 25 years. I have children there. My king man is buried there, but I don't have citizenship. Most of us who come to our African countries, returning to Mother Africa, we don't have citizenship. So we are